in this particular video, I am going to talk about the third part of taxonomy and systematics, which is all about the taxonomic categories and the taxonomical aids. So let's begin. So at first we are going to talk about the hierarchy of classification, and then we will move on to the taxonomical aids. Okay, so to understand the hierarchy of classification, let's take an example of a pet dog. We all know that every individuals get into a common group, which is known as species. So here an obvious question arises that how can you say that the two individuals belong from the same species? So the answer is very simple, that is, two members are said to be a same species when they can interbreed among themselves and produce fertile offsprings. Okay? So, the classification of living organisms involves a specific sequence of arrangement of taxa in a descending order, and this is called as taxonomic hierarchy. Now, here are these 7 obligate categories in which all living organisms are classified and are arranged in a descending sequence starting from the kingdom up to the species, or in an ascending order, you can say from the species to kingdom. And the number of similar characters of the categories decreases from the lowest rank, which is the species, to the highest rank, which is kingdom. And the specificity decreases when we go from species to kingdom. That is, the higher the category, lesser will be the number of similar characteristics of organisms belonging to that category. Okay? Now, here I am giving you a very easy trick to keep this sequence in your mind. The line is, kids prefer cheese over fried green spinach. Here, K denotes kingdom, P denotes phylum, C denotes class, O denotes the order, F denotes the family, G denotes the genus, and the S denotes species. Okay? So in taxonomic hierarchy, the taxonomic groups, which is also known as taxa, are arranged in a definite order from higher to lower categories, and in which species serves as a basic and lowest category. So the species is the basic unit of the classification, and the members of the species are closely related with each other, and they derive from a common ancestor and can interbreed among themselves to produce fertile offsprings. Now let's take some examples. Here I have put 3 scientific names of mango, potato and lime. And all the 3 names, the indica, tuberosum and leo, represents the specific epithets, while the first words, the mangifera, solanum and panthera, are the another higher level of taxon, which is also known as genera. Okay? So, what is genus? So, genus is a group of related species which have some correlated characters. Okay? Now, one thing is that each genus can have one or more than one specific epithets representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, here you can see in the picture that potato, brinjal and tomato are 3 different species, but all of them belong the same genus, that is Solanum. Okay? So here are some common features in between them, and this is why this genus Solanum differs from other genus. Just for example, Panthera. Okay? Now, the next one is family. So what is family? Family is a group of related genera. Here, less number of similarities can be seen as compared to genus and species, and it is characterized on the basis of vegetative and reproductive features. For example, family of Felida contains genus like Panthera and Felis. Okay? Now, the next one is order. So, order is the assemblage of families with few similar characteristics, and those similar characteristics are less as compared to different genera in the family, and it is identified on the basis of aggregates of characters. Just for example, order Carnivora includes the family just like Felida and Candida. Okay? Moving on to the class. So, the class contains several related orders. For example, class Mammalia includes the order Carnivora and the order Primata. Okay? Now, the next one is a category higher than that of the class. Okay? So, the term phylum is used for animals while the division is commonly used for plants. And it includes related classes based on common features among different classes. Okay? The examples is phylum Chordata, which is based on the presence of notochord, hollow neural system, etc. and the division Angiosperm, which is based on the presence of flowers. Okay? Now the next one is kingdom, which is the highest rank of the categories. So the kingdom comprises of various phyla of animals and various phyla of plants. So there are two major kingdoms, basically plant kingdom and animal kingdom. So here is one complete example of taxonomic categories about man, the Homo sapiens. So the kingdom of man is Animalia, phylum is Chordata, class is Mammalia, order is Primates, family is Hominidae, genus is Homo, and the species is Sapiens. Okay? Now, moving on to the next part of this lecture, which is taxonomical aids. So we have already understood that the systemic study of diverse organisms is very much beneficial for human being, as human can exploit this knowledge of various species of plants, animals and other organisms in different fields like agriculture, forestry, fishery, etc. and can also exactly understand different bioresources existing on Earth. So therefore, accurate classification and identification of organisms is required, which needs field studies and intensive laboratory work. So this is done after collection of actual specimen of plants and animal species, which is the primary source of all taxonomic studies. So the taxonomical aids is the collection of actual specimen of plants and animals is essential and is the prime source of the taxonomic studies. So some basic taxonomical aids are zoological parks, key, museums, herbarium and botanical gardens. And now I am going to talk about them one by one. So the first one is herbarium. The herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, pressed and preserved on a sheet. and these sheets are arranged in the sequence of universally accepted system and classification. One example of herbarium is Central National Herbarium at Kolkata. Now the next one is taxonomical key. So the keys are analytical in nature. Hence, these are used in identification of plants and animals based on similarities and dissimilarities. So the keys are based on some contrasting characters, which is known as couplet. And each character of the couplet in the key is known as lead. So there are separate taxonomic keys specific for each taxonomic category, such as family, genus, species or kingdom, etc. Okay? Next is museums. So, museum is a place used for storing, preservation and exhibition of both plants and animals. The specimens are preserved in the container or jar in the preservative solution or preserved in dry. And it is used for the study and reference for the researchers. Okay? Now the zoological parks. So, the zoological parks are also known as zoos. One example is National Zoological Park in Delhi. Here, wild animals are kept in protected environment which is made similar to their natural habitats as much as possible. Okay? And these serve as ideal means to study and learn about their food habits and behavior. Okay? And the next one is botanical garden. So, these are the specialized garden for collecting living organisms, specifically the living plants, and these are specially grown for identification purposes. And each plant is first identified and then labeled, indicating its botanical or scientific name and its family. One example is Indian Botanical Garden at Howrah and Botanical Garden at Kew in England. Now finally, here are some other important taxonomical aids. So the first one is Flora. So the Flora is a book containing information about plants found in a particular area, which gives the actual account of habitat and distribution of various plants of a given area. Example of Flora is Flora of Delhi by J.K. Maheshwari. Now the next one is Manual. So the manual is a book containing complete listing and description of plants growing in a particular area. Now the monograph, which contains information of any taxon. And finally the catalogue. So the catalogue includes the alphabetical arrangement of species of a particular place describing their features. Okay? Now if you have any doubts or questions related to today's lecture, ask me in the comment section. And must check the description box where I have provided the link for the self-assessment questionnaires. Do the self-assessment test. I hope it will be helpful for you. So that's all for today. Now if you find this video helpful, then please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. And if you are new here, then please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get the notifications of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Till then, take care and keep watching BioHolic.